Hey guys, Pearl back again, back to give you another wonderful recipe, quick and easy, one pot situation. You know how I don't like to stand in front of the kitchen, in front of that stove and cook. Alright, so what we're going to need is about a kg. Now remember, I'm cooking for about 6 people, maybe 7 people tonight. We're going to be using the free-range thigh fillet, so without the bone, without the skin. That's what we're going to be using. I'm using a kg, so just remember, if you are making half, you're going to use half the amount. Coconut milk, like I said, that coconut. We're using garlic and ginger paste. You could use either garlic separately or you could use the ginger separately, but I like to buy it together. It just makes a whole lot of sense, makes my life easier. Plain yogurt, turmeric powder, salt, and what's important is the rice. Now the rice, you could use basmati rice or you could use jasmine rice. Any one of those are great. So these are the ingredients going to make this simple one pot chicken ginger coconut rice. Alright, so the first part of this is getting the ingredients ready to cook this one pot meal. So I'm going to be using 2 cups. So see, look at me throwing that rice all over. We're going to be using 2 cups of rice. Now what we want to do with this rice is pre-soak it. So when you're cooking, it takes up such a little time to cook and the food will be ready in a moment. What we're going to do with the rice is we're going to cover it some water. So we're literally soaking this rice. Look what a mess I'm making. And that we are going to soak for 15 to 20 minutes, always long. Alright, moving on to part 2. As you can see, I've put the chicken in a bowl. We're going to add a little rice. So I normally about a half a teaspoon of salt just to give the chicken some flavor. And of course, one very important ingredient here is our chili. We're going to be using a teaspoon. Now look at me, I can't even get this open. Let me wrap it behind me. I'm going to be using about a spoonful of that. No, I'm going to measure it, but like I said, it's about a teaspoon. So the hotter you want it, the more chili powder you put. So about a tablespoon or a teaspoon, depending on how hot you like your food. We're going to be using 2 tablespoons of garlic and ginger. This is what adds that flavor and that little bit of a bite. So that's 2 tablespoons of garlic and ginger. We're going to be using about a tablespoon of turmeric. Let me just, I keep my spices on top of the stove, so sometimes they get a little bit stuck. Oopsie, there we go. Nice big tablespoon of turmeric. This is what gives the chicken that lovely flavor. And by the way, turmeric is so good for you. And last of all, we're going to be using about 4 spoonfuls of plain yogurt, and we're going to leave this to marinate for about 20 minutes to half an hour, depending on how long you have. 15 minutes is more than enough, but I like to just let that ginger really sit in the chicken, really bring out that amazing flavor. So we mix all of this up, get all those lovely flavors in the chicken. You will not believe, guys, how simple and easy and quick this dish is. Look, didn't I tell you I was quite a messy cook? I did, eh? Okay, so we're getting all this in. We're going to cover this once we're happy that everything is nice and mixed up. We're going to cover this and we're going to let it sit for at least between 15 and a half hours. So if you have to pick up kids from school or you have something to do, you can prepare this. You can even leave it in the morning before you go to work, come back and pop it in the oven, cooked quick. Alright, so here we go. This is all ready. And we're going to put this on a side and we're going to come back later and we're going to make this quick, easy, delicious, healthy meal, guys. Alright guys, it's time to start cooking. Now remember, you can marinate from anything between 15 and 20 minutes. Right, so now we're going to fry this chicken, and I tell you, once this is done, everything goes super quickly. You put everything in the oven and we're good to go. So let's fire up that stove and start cooking. Here we go, guys. We have a large saucepan here, and like I told you, we're just going to coat that bottom of the oil. By the way, you could use coconut oil, you could use, you can see I've basically covered the bottom of the pan. I hope you guys can see. I'm trying to hold that camera as perfectly as I can while I'm cooking, and you know that my skills are never that good, guys. All right, so as you can see, the chicken is nice and flavored, so we're just going to try and catch as much of that as possible. All right, so we want this oil really, really nice and hot. I'm going to just check and see. There we go. And what we want to do with this is we want to fry it until it's nice and brown. I think that oil needs to be a little hotter, so let's turn up that flame and let's get all of this chicken in the pan. So we want to just fry it off until it is nice and brown. There you go. You can hear some frying. It's sounding nice. It smells good. Remember, garlic and chicken. I can go through all the health benefits, but I think we've gone through the health benefits of using garlic and turmeric. If you guys do want me to do a video on the health benefits of garlic and turmeric, just pop it in the comments and let me know how, if you would like me to do that video. So let's pop this in. We're going to let this fry up until it is nice and brown. Oh my word, this is smelling absolutely gorgeous. And while this chicken is browning, we are going to go ahead and cut up one onion. You can hear it. And guys, the smell of the ginger and the garlic and of course that lovely yogurt cooking in the chicken. Actually, I've seen quite a lot of recipes with this using yogurt, and I'm very excited to tell you that it makes the chicken nice and juicy and soft. So let's let this cook up and let's go ahead and cut that onion. Alright, let's check and see if we've got some browning. Oh yes, that chicken looks really nice and brown. We're just going to pop those over just to get some color on it so it's not looking boring and uninteresting. You can see we got some color on this chicken. And once this is cooked, guys, we're going to remove this chicken, put it into another bowl, and then we're going to use this lovely sauce that we have here to actually fry the onion. So all the yogurt and the garlic and the ginger is still sitting mixed with that olive oil, and it is smelling like heaven, guys. Alright, so we're going to let that brown a little bit longer. The onion is ready, and of course we are. Look at that beautiful browning of that chicken. Really, really looking good. Alright, so this is ready to come out, and we're going to pop them into a bigger saucepan. You see all this lovely juice that we have here. Smells amazing. Let's just get this out. Looking really, really good. Smelling good. Alright, so there we go. You can see some of the garlic in that is still cooking. And what we're going to do with this is we're going to fry our onions and another teaspoon of garlic on there. Alright, so that's cooking there. And the chicken has been taken out. Alright, that is now we're going to be adding that one onion and just cooking that through, adding some more flavor, and of course those 3 bay leaves that we spoke about earlier, and we just cook it up. Look at that lovely turmeric coloring, lovely turmeric flavor. We don't want to burn that in any way, shape or form. And we're just going to fry that up. There we go. Now while that, we're going to grab another half a teaspoon. You can put just plain garlic, or you can actually, you see I've just added a little more ginger and garlic to the pan. And then let that cook through, and it smells good, guys. Oh my gosh. If you were standing in my kitchen, you want to eat immediately. So you can see that's cooking up. So we're going to allow that to cook through. It gets a little dry. You could just add, we don't want the ginger or the garlic to burn, so we just add a little water to make sure that it doesn't dry out or burn. Remember, burnt garlic and ginger is not the greatest taste. Alright guys, that is cooked nice and simply. So what we're going to be doing now is adding that soaked rice. Now the soaked rice is just going to help everything to cook a little quicker. We might have to, remember I'm cooking a double amount of rice, so we might have to turn and change this pan if this pan becomes too small. The other way of doing this is just popping everything in the oven. You can just throw everything in the oven. We're just going to let this cook through. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in here. You can see the rice is changing color, which is what we want. And it is cooking and smelling amazing. So now we get all that flavor through there. And now comes the fun bit. This is an optional extra. I just like a little color in the food as it's more exciting. So I'm going to add a cup of carrots and peas and corn. One very important ingredient, which was our coconut milk. So that 1.5 cups of coconut milk and about 1.5 cups of water. We want to actually, oh my gosh, what a mess, Pearl. So we want to cover all of that, and we want that to bring it to a boil. Just look at this mess that I've made. But you know what? That's part of cooking. If you're not a messy cook, I think I should actually call myself the messy cook. So we're going to let that come to a boil. I'm going to add a little more water. So it's about 1.5 cups of water. We're going to bring that to a boil, and then we're going to show you what we do. So look at that color. It's looking amazing. Now with the smell of the milk and the ginger, it just does something for that rice. All right, guys, while this is cooking, we're going to be adding about 2 tablespoons of salt because we don't want bland food. And of course, this is just to give the rice a bit of flavor there. So that is that, and we are going to allow that to boil through. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer it to an oven pan. So you could either do this and layer the chicken in here and completely cook it, or you could do what I'm going to do. I'm going to replace it into a big pan. Okay guys, here is my big pan. Like I told you, now I'm going to take this and I'm going to layer that chicken in and around it. So that goes into there, nice and all over. And guys, once this is done, you will find that it's cooked. So the flavor of the chicken, the flavor of the coconut and the ginger and the garlic and that veggies, you can see, just adds a beautiful color to the dish. And then we're going to transfer this to the oven at about 180 degrees for about a half an hour. But if you can, like I said, cook this on the stove top in a hob if your pan is big enough, and it will be absolutely fine. Look how beautiful is this chicken looking in this rice, guys. You can see I'm still cooking on my stove, although it's a bigger pan. I just feel like this is going to give it a chance for that rice to fluff up and look really amazing. Looking good, doesn't it look good, guys? All right, guys, now we're going to transfer this food to the oven. So let's get that oven on 190 even is fine. Let's put that on 190. That's great. And we're going to be cooking this meat, so I'm going to close it off. We're going to be putting this in the oven for about half an hour till that rice is cooked through. After about 20 minutes, you can check it and make sure that it is ready. So guys, let's give that a chance to cook, and we'll come back and show you how beautiful is this dish. It's looking good. It's almost done. We're going to give it another 5 minutes in the oven, but look how beautiful this looks. All right, guys, we are ready to eat. This is what it looks like. Absolutely divine. And remember, if you like my recipes, don't forget to like and subscribe for some more delicious recipes coming soon.